Have you been wondering or even pondering about switching your dogs and your cats to a raw food diet? But it can be really scary, right? And you might be seeing or hearing it can kill them, it can harm you, it can make them more vicious. There's all sorts of myths surrounding this, and it creates a lot of fear for pet parents when you're looking at changing your dogs and cats over to a raw food diet. So don't worry, what I'm going to be talking about today is exactly that, and how to transition your dogs and cats safely over to a raw food diet, and give you a couple different techniques that you can use so that you can feel comfortable about your plan moving forward to get your dogs and cats onto a better diet. I'm Dr. Katie Woodley, the natural pet doctor. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm an integrative holistic veterinarian who's on a mission to make sure that you, as the amazing pet parent that you are, feel empowered and supported. So if that sounds like you and the path that you want to take to help your pets thrive naturally, make sure that you hit the subscription button down below. And this topic today is quite a controversial one. However, we're going to break it down into some easy tips on how to transition your beloved pets, your dogs and your cats, to a raw food diet. And I'm really excited to share this valuable information with you. Before we dive into those details, make sure to hit the subscription button and click the notification bell so you never miss any of our future pet care tips and advice. So let's start off with talking about the incredible benefits of feeding a raw diet to your dogs and cats. Now, here's the thing, raw feeding provides our pets with natural and a balanced diet. And these are some of the key benefits you want to be thinking about. A lot of these diets have an enhanced nutrient profile, meaning that they're going to consist of this fresh, unprocessed ingredients, providing this natural balance of minerals, proteins, fats, and vitamins. Now, because of that, there's also the benefit a lot of times of improved digestive health. And raw food closely resembles what our pets' ancestors consumed in the wild, promoting optimal digestion, reducing food sensitivities, and alleviating digestive issues. And because they're absorbing the food and it's less processed, a lot of times we see a healthier coat. And these raw diets, when they're balanced over time and we're doing it appropriately, they're rich in essential fatty acids that support that healthy skin and this lustrous coat, reducing skin allergies and itching. And when we're using raw meaty bones, we're supporting optimal dental health because we're increasing the hassle factor of your pet's chewing and gnawing, and that textured raw food helps keep teeth clean, those gums healthy, and it reduces the risk of dental problems. So knowing the benefits of a raw food diet, let's explore some of the different approaches to transitioning your pets to a raw food diet. Now, when it comes to transitioning, there are several approaches you can take. So let's discuss a few of them now. The first method is what we call the rapid switch. This method involves immediately replacing your pet's current diet with a balanced raw food diet. However, it might not be suited for older pets or those that have digestive issues. Now, the next method is what we call the slow switch, and this is meal alternation. So you offer one meal of raw food followed by one meal of the old food, and you're gradually decreasing the old food over time. Now, method 3 is a slow switch also, but it's a gradual increase. So this is where we're offering both the old and new food together, but we're gradually increasing the proportion of raw food while decreasing the old food. And then we have method 4. This is the slow switch and food combination. So we're actually physically blending the old and the new food into this homogeneous mixture and gradually decreasing the amount of the old food that we add into that we're blending all together. And then we have method 5, the slow switch, which is cooked to raw transition. This is where you introduce the new food in a cooked state and you gradually transition to more of a raw food diet. This method works really well for fussy eaters or pets with sensitive GI tracts, and I use it all the time in my patients to help get them used to it, especially with cats who are picky. Now, Once again, a reminder, it is important to consult with your veterinarian to determine the best approach for your pet's specific needs. More specifically, if you can find an integrative holistic veterinarian that can help guide you with the raw food transition, fantastic. We have some additional resources for finding a holistic vet to partner with down in the description below. Okay, now that we know about the different approaches, let's talk about some of the common mistakes to avoid during the transition process. So mistake number one, so this is insufficient knowledge. We have this lack of understanding about balanced raw diets and nutritional requirements, and it can lead to improper feeding, resulting in deficiencies over time. So this is what we want to avoid, right? We want to make sure we're doing our education, we are prepared, and we're not just putting a bunch of raw meat down in a bowl and thinking it's balanced. The other common mistake is that we rush the transition. So gradual transitions, especially if this makes you a bit nervous, are better tolerated by our pets, and it can reduce the risk of digestive upset. Now, a lot of pets do fine with that fast transition, especially younger pets that don't have gut health problems. But if you're worried or you have a pet who's more sensitive, take it slow. Now, mistake number 3 is neglecting variety. And this is where we need to be offering a variety of different types of proteins, including muscle meat, different organs, bones, to ensure a balanced diet. We don't want to feed the same thing over and over for every single meal. We need those additional nutrients and vitamins and minerals that come with that variety of food that we feed. Now, mistake number 4 is incorrect handling and storage. We are dealing with raw food, so mishandling of raw food and improper storage can increase the risk of bacterial contamination. So make sure you're following up proper food safety guidelines you would use for yourself if you were cooking a beautiful meal from, say, chicken, a raw chicken, and cooking it. Same principles apply. Practice good food safety guidelines. And then mistake number 5, neglecting dental health. So there's a common myth that raw food will make the teeth perfect, but we need to think about, what are they chewing on? Are they chewing on raw meaty bones, or are we grinding up that bone? So we still need to make sure that we're taking care of our pet's dental health, and considering maybe we need to add additional dental care measures if your pet's not chewing on those raw meaty bones. Now, these are just a few of the mistakes to avoid. For the complete list of that, make sure that you check out the free Raw Natural Feeding Summit that's coming up. There's a link to register for that summit down below. Okay, now let's address a common challenge: transitioning those picky cats to a raw food diet. Transitioning picky cats requires some extra care and a bit of patience and perseverance. So I'm going to give you a few strategies to encourage your finicky feline companion. So first off, method 1, the gradual introduction. We need to start by offering a small amount of raw food alongside their current diet, gradually increasing the proportion of raw food over time. This is really important to get them used to the different types of smells and textures and consistencies of the food. Which brings me to method 2, offering different textures and warming the food. Cats are really particular about textures, so we need to experiment with the ground, mixed, chunky raw food. And additionally, serving that raw food at a room temperature or slightly warm can make a huge difference for them. And then method 3, mixing in their favorite flavors. We need to jazz it up. So adding a small amount of a flavor that your cat enjoys, like canned sardine juice or even canned tuna water, or their favorite treat, to really entice them, can go a long way. But remember, patience and persistence are key when we're dealing with picky eaters. And if you're concerned or you need suggestions or recommendations, drop it down in the comment section down below. However, because I know picky eaters can be frustrating, right? And it can derail the whole thing, I wanted to give you some additional methods to help make that transition more enticing. This is where using things like nutritional yeast can be really helpful. Sprinkling a small amount over the raw food, its cheesy flavor can actually entice a picky cat to give it a try. Also, using things like bone broth, adding a spoonful of just bone broth to the raw food, the rich flavor and additional moisture can make it more enticing. We can also use some things like kefir, mixing a small amount of kefir with the raw food, and that tangy taste and the probiotics are also beneficial for digestion. So those are just a few additional recommendations to consider that work really well for my own picky cats when they're being picky, and also picky patients when we're looking at trying to transition a pet over to a raw food. You got to get creative sometimes to find what works best for your picky eater. So here's the thing. There's a lot of different ways, as you can see from all the different methods, to switching your dogs and your cats over to a raw food diet safely. And I hope this video gave you some valuable insights and helped you feel more empowered to make that switch. If you're having any concerns with switching your pet over, if this is the right thing to do, having a conversation with a veterinarian who is familiar with a raw feeding is really important. But avoiding those common mistakes that I mentioned at the start and using the strategies provided, it will help ensure that successful transition. And keep in mind that we have that natural and raw feeding pet summit that's also coming up, that is all free, and we'll go through even more tips on helping your pets transition safely over to a raw food, along with balancing those diets, providing variety, and give you a lot of additional tools and resources so that you feel confident and empowered that you are on the right path, feeding your pets the most optimal nutrition. So I appreciate you all for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, I would love for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time that we release new content to help your pets thrive naturally. I'm Dr. Katie Woodley, the Natural Pet Doctor, and I'll see you soon.